How can we stand out in such a competitive world? Many believe that the secret lies in working harder, earning more money, or having more connections. While these factors can help, the true advantage lies in something deeper: mindset. And it's not just any mindset, but one that has been tested and refined over centuries: the wisdom of the Stoics. In this video, we will explore 8 Stoic methods that will put you ahead of 98% of people. These methods are not quick tricks or superficial solutions. They are fundamental principles that, when adopted and practiced, can profoundly transform your life. Each of these methods is based on a unique perspective on life, the mind, and the world around us, and has the power to change how you think, act, and ultimately live. Before we begin, if you enjoy these videos, subscribe and click the bell to stay updated. Don't miss any truths, as some of them may clarify many situations in your life. Stoic method number 1: practice objective perception. Let's start with the first Stoic method, which will help you see things from a different, clearer perspective, less influenced by emotions. The philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This concept is essential to understand how the Stoics approached life. For them, perception is not just what you see or feel at a given moment, but how you interpret and judge what is happening. Imagine you find yourself in a difficult situation, such as a heated argument with a colleague. The immediate reaction might be to feel attacked, frustrated, or irritated. But this is where objective perception comes into play. Instead of being carried away by the emotions of the moment, the Stoics invite you to take a step back, observe the situation from a colder and more rational perspective, and ask yourself, what is really happening here? What is the bare fact, without emotional embellishments? This method is based on a simple but powerful truth. Often, what we perceive is not objective reality, but a version distorted by our emotions, biases, or past experiences. Practicing objective perception means training your mind to see things as they are, without adding an unnecessary emotional layer that only clouds your judgment. For example, if someone criticizes you, instead of immediately reacting defensively or angrily, objective perception invites you to analyze the criticism calmly. Ask yourself, is this criticism valid? What can I learn from it? If it is not valid, simply let it go, as it has no power over you unless you grant it. This approach not only helps you remain calm, but also allows you to make clearer and more effective decisions. But how do you practice objective perception in everyday life? A trick the Stoics often used was to imagine that you are an external observer of your own life, as if you were watching the situation in a movie. This mental exercise allows you to create a space between the event and your emotional reaction, giving you time and clarity to respond more effectively. In practice, this puts you ahead of 98% of people who tend to react impulsively based on their first impressions or emotions. Objective perception allows you to see things as they are, not as they make you feel. This is a true superpower in a world where everyone seems to be in a reactive mode. Remember, the key here is clarity. The more you practice seeing things objectively, the easier it will be to make decisions that are not only rational, but also benefit you in the long run. The next time you face a challenge or conflict, take a moment, breathe deeply, and observe the situation as a spectator. You will be surprised at how this simple practice can completely change your way of seeing things and how, over time, it will put you a step ahead of the majority. Number 2, let go of the need for approval. The second Stoic method is one of the most liberating. This principle is crucial because, in a world where others' opinions seem to carry so much weight, learning to let go of this constant need for validation from others is a true superpower. Epictetus made this clear when he said, "If someone tells you something that displeases you, remember that they did not insult you. They merely said something. What affects you is how you choose to interpret it." This Stoic lesson invites us to understand that true freedom does not come from pleasing others, but from being true to our own values and principles, regardless of what others think. Think about how many decisions you make daily influenced by what you believe others expect from you, from the clothes you wear to the opinions you express. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking external approval, but here's the thing. You can never please everyone. And as long as you continue chasing others' validation, you will be trapped in an invisible prison where your actions are determined not by what is right for you, but by what others deem acceptable. The Stoics understood that living a life based on the need for approval is to live at the mercy of others' whims. Most people expend an incredible amount of energy worrying about what others think, trying to meet others' expectations, and adjusting their behavior to avoid disapproval. But the Stoics knew that other people's opinions are beyond our control, and therefore, we should not concern ourselves with them. Letting go of the need for approval doesn't mean being indifferent or arrogant. It means recognizing that your worth doesn't depend on what others think of you. When you achieve this, you free yourself from the chains of public opinion and can act with authenticity. This not only makes you more genuine, but also gives you an advantage over most people who are constantly worried about pleasing others. A practical way to apply this method is to remember that most people are so preoccupied with their own lives that they rarely truly care about you. What may seem like a harsh judgment is often a fleeting thought that rarely affects them in the long term. Understanding this allows you to let go of the need for approval and act with greater freedom and confidence. By acting according to your values instead of seeking others' approval, you can find a more authentic path to living. A Stoic practice that can help is the exercise of indifference. When someone's opinion bothers you, ask yourself, is this person an example of wisdom and virtue for me? Do their opinions really matter? Most of the time, you will realize they are not, and by giving less importance to these opinions, you will feel lighter, freer, and able to make decisions that truly reflect who you are. Letting go of the need for approval grants you a rare inner power, making you someone who lives according to your principles, not to please a fickle crowd. In this way, you stand out from most people, as true strength lies not in pleasing everyone, but in being true to yourself. An effective Stoic method is to maintain calm in the midst of a storm, something challenging but immensely powerful, which can put you a step ahead of most. Maintaining inner peace in crisis situations was considered essential by the Stoics for a full and balanced life. Epictetus stated that, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows," reminding us of the importance of humility and an open mind. To maintain calm, it is crucial to accept that we cannot control everything. Instead of fighting against the uncontrollable, we should focus on controlling our minds and emotions. Imagine yourself in a crisis at work, where pressure and deadlines seem overwhelming. The typical reaction would be to panic, but the Stoics teach that the key to dealing with such situations is to maintain internal calm. This calm is not a cold indifference, but a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that, although you cannot control what happens around you, you can always control how you respond to it. This mindset allows you to make clearer and more rational decisions, putting you in a position of leadership in both your personal and professional life. One of the most effective techniques for achieving this calm is conscious breathing. In moments of high tension, deep breathing helps to calm the nervous system and regain control of your thoughts. When you breathe calmly, you send a signal to your mind that there is no immediate threat, allowing you to respond with clarity instead of fear or anger. Another technique is emotional detachment, which doesn't mean you don't care, but that you avoid getting emotionally involved with aspects beyond your control. If someone insults or unfairly criticizes you, practice detachment by telling yourself that it doesn't define you and that you don't need to react. This practice gives you incredible inner power, as it allows you to choose your battles and focus on what really matters. Calm is also cultivated through perspective. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the world is constantly changing and that life is shaped by our opinions. Most crises that seem catastrophic at the moment are, in fact, temporary. When facing a crisis, ask yourself, will this still matter in a year or 5? This question can help you maintain calm even when everything seems to be falling apart. In a world where most people react to stress with anxiety or despair, Maintaining calm in the midst of the storm puts you in a position of strength. While others lose their heads, you remain centered, confident, and able to find solutions. This serenity allows you to overcome challenges that others deem insurmountable, giving you an advantage in any situation. Developing this quality is not only valuable in times of crisis, but also in everyday life. The ability to maintain calm allows you to enjoy life more, as you are not at the mercy of your emotions or external circumstances. With practice, your life becomes more balanced, focused, and rewarding. Another important Stoic principle is living according to your values. This is one of the pillars of Stoicism and involves always acting in alignment with what you believe, regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wrote, "Do what is right, not what seems convenient or easy, but what is correct." This captures the essence of living according to your principles. It's not just about following rules, but acting according to an internal moral compass that guides you in all situations. We live in a world where it is easy to stray from our values. The temptations of modern life, such as the desire for quick success or the pressure to fit in, can lead us to compromise what we truly believe. However, the Stoics knew that true peace and satisfaction come from living a coherent life, where your actions reflect your deepest convictions. Imagine yourself in a work situation where you are asked to do something against your principles, like lying to close a deal. The temptation to justify a small deviation might be strong, but living according to your values means making the difficult decision to say no when something is not aligned with what is right. While it may seem that you lose in the short term, in reality, you gain something much more valuable: integrity and self-respect. When you compromise your values, you move away from your true self, which inevitably leads to dissatisfaction and regret. On the other hand, when you act consistently with your principles, you experience an inner peace that cannot be bought or replaced by external achievements. This is the foundation of true happiness, because you know that, no matter what happens, you were true to what really matters. Living according to your principles also gives you great strength in times of uncertainty, in a world where norms and expectations are constantly changing. A clear set of principles provides a firm anchor when everyone around you wavers. You remain steadfast because you are not governed by what is popular or convenient, but by what is right. To practice this method, the Stoics suggest daily reflection. Take a moment each night to review your day and ask yourself, did I act today according to my principles? Was I true to my values? This practice allows you to continually adjust your behavior and ensures that even in small decisions, you are living in harmony with your values. Building a life aligned with your true values is crucial. Identify what you deeply value: honesty, justice, compassion, among others. Once you've defined your principles, use them as a guide for your decisions. Always ask, is this action in line with my values? If the answer is no, reassess your approach. Over time, this habit transforms you into someone who lives in harmony with your values, rather than just talking about them. In a world where it is easy to be swept along by the current, living according to your principles makes you stand out and become someone others can trust, with a clear direction and a life with purpose. This coherence is what sets you apart from others, because while many get lost in the pursuit of immediate gratification, you remain true to a path of integrity and purpose. Finding peace in the present is the next Stoic method that can put you ahead of many. This simple yet profound concept is transformative. It involves living fully in the present without getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Marcus Aurelius expressed this clearly, stating that we should trust in the present because it is all we have. This phrase encapsulates the Stoic wisdom about the importance of focusing on the present moment. The past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly possess is now, and it is in this moment that we should seek our peace. How often does your mind get lost in thoughts about what might happen or what has already happened? Many people live trapped in these two dimensions, unaware that life is happening in the present. This constant distraction robs us of the joy and serenity we could have if we were fully in the present. The Stoics understand that inner peace comes from total acceptance of the present, not resignation, but embracing the current moment without letting anxiety about the future or guilt about the past dominate us. To apply this in your daily life, a powerful technique is the practice of mindfulness. Fully engage in whatever you are doing, whether it's a simple task like having a cup of coffee or something more complex like a meeting. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on the moment, on the sensations, sounds, and people around you. This not only enhances your experience but also reduces stress, as you are not fighting against an uncertain future or lamenting an irreparable past. Another Stoic practice is morning and evening reflection. Start the day by setting the intention to live in the present, and at the end, reflect on how it went with the goal of improving. This habit helps train your mind to return to the present when it strays into unnecessary worries. Finding peace in the present also means accepting what is, rather than fighting against what we cannot change. If you're stuck in traffic, use the moment to breathe, reflect, or simply appreciate the silence. Instead of getting frustrated with the challenge at work, focus on what you can do now. Thank you.